Shut!
Alright, boys and girls, it's time to have the talk. Now, don't worry, I'm not here to give you the good old sit down of divorcing your mom and pop. You know, we still love each other very dearly. No, it is finally time to continue a promise I made long ago. For long viewers of the channel, over, I think, like 2 years ago now, I started a Kenny vs. Spenny retrospective. A retrospective of another one of my favorite shows of all time. Something new to start the return of JetpackRetro off with as I finished off the Futurama retrospective. But what can you say? Life got in the way. I proceeded to get busy. And due to getting busy and the retrospective having to be about ranking the top 7 episodes of every single season, because I think they're all very different from each other, it got away from me somehow. So, you know what? No more waiting, no more bullshit. We are back. We are returning and doing, this time, I thought, you know what? Throw something fun in there. So instead of doing the next season, because that's going to take a lot more work, I need to sit with it more. Instead, we are going to discuss what I truly think are the top 7 worst Kenny vs. Spenny episodes. Now, a little bit of, rules to let you know how I came to this, decision of these episodes being the top 7 worst. And here's what I go by. You know the type of episodes and shows that you watch where you never go back to them? Like, these are shows and episodes you always skip, are not interested in seeing again, and the only times you ever will watch them again is literally if you want to show a friend, do a binge of the series, or out of pure boredom when you don't know what else to watch. These are those type of episodes. Episodes that, maybe they're not that bad, but I would never ever watch again, or go out of my way to, unless for reasons, like I just said, and for this video. Took a long while, watched through the series again, put all my feelings together, and I got the list. So let's go into number 7.
All right, the competition this week is first one to stop singing loses. It is an endurance competition. We have to sing, and we can't stop.
This one it's only number 7, so this is more the meh entry. I don't hate this episode at all. I actually watched this one the most out of all the ones we're about to discuss, more than all of them, but you're talking to a guy who's not a fan of musicals. I already don't like musicals, and I'm already not a fan of having to watch a movie and then it has to stop to just do a ton of pop tunes or songs. I mean, there's a reason why the Bob's Burgers movie did not do well, and I was not one of the people that watched it. Hint, wink. But anyways, so with this in mind, it was an easy number 7. This is an episode I still watch from time to time, and I do think is pretty good. I don't think it's a bad episode, but, with the rules of these are episodes I will never go out of my way to watch, yeah, I could go without it. It's just Kenny and Spenny, non-stop, just singing with 2 really not made for singing voices, just singing random, and then on top of that, they're either singing made-up songs or royalty-free songs due to copyright, and it's just Spenny singing nursery rhymes, and Kenny just putting on random characters and just singing until he just loses his breath, and then showing one little cute cheat tactic of using choirs to hide yourself. Until Kenny just decides, you know what, I've grown bored, spurts, and then just makes Spenny stop, because apparently there was nothing in the rules saying you couldn't interrupt each other singing. It's very to the point, short, whatever, bunch of singing, then stop. There's nothing to this one, nothing too memorable, nothing too funny. It's forgettable, but an easy number 7. It's bad, but nowhere near as bad as the other ones.
All right, the competition this week is our craziest, our heaviest, our most intense boxing. 13 rounds in the ring.
How are you going to beat me?
Oh yes, this one. This one was actually going to be number 7. I fought between the 2, but the only reason why this episode got one step higher worse than singing is because it has such a disappointing ending. It ends like the whole episode is Kenny putting in all of his money towards building a private locked up prison in his own house, to throw Spenny into for a clever idea of, alright, well, how about we don't fight at all? I lock him in here only a day, maybe 2, and then just, it's over. He didn't show up, don't know why, no contest, I win. It's such a good idea, and it's actually a very fun episode to watch. Seeing Spenny in there and him trying to cope with it and all this stuff going on is actually really funny. But then nothing happens. To me, this one's only number 6 because I just find the ending very disappointing. Kenny, although he already had Spenny there for like a day and a half, so why not say fuck it and do the next day? He was already in there for a day. You might as well go for it at that point. I mean, you already did the plan. You already started it. Why backpedal now? But I understand why. We get another side of Kenny genuinely upset about what he did. Because unlike Spenny, he actually is just that guy. He actually does care for Spenny. He actually doesn't like to see people go through things like that. And he has more of a moral compass. So understandable, I get why he took him out and just gave him the win for... And then just gave him the win for how bad he felt. But come on, man. It was the equivalent of teasing someone. It was like promising a carrot right in front of a person's face, dangling it, and the second they went to go take that bite of that sweet orange, long, throbby carrot, it then gets pulled away from them, which makes them lick their lips and roll their eyes upset. You know what I mean? It ends up being that, and that's why it's number 6. Just very disappointing ending.
The competition is the handcuffed episode. We're going to handcuff ourselves to each other.
I think anyone can understand why this one is number 5. This was number 5 because it's already not that good of an idea. Most of the episode is just them cuffed together, just back and forth pissing each other off, which, standard, what else are they going to do? So it's already the equivalent of forcing 2 kids who do not like each other to sit together and then just proceed to try to calm them down, but they won't. So that's already bad enough. With a bit of entertainment, there's some funny things. But then they bring in the old friend, the guy, sadly, rest in peace, passed away, that Spenny owes money to. And that's where the episode falls apart. The entire rest of the episode just becomes a one-man show of us having to watch this guy being severely annoying. Even to the point where even Kenny himself, who made this plan, also regrets it because it's pissing him off just as much as it's pissing Spenny off. With the fun twist being, the guy's not even trying to be annoying. This is genuinely just how he is. He's that guy. These exercises and stuff he does is something he genuinely does do on a normal basis. He genuinely thinks he's that guy. So rest in peace to you, buddy, but fuck, you are annoying. And it just becomes an episode that I never go back to because I'm just reminded, oh yeah, this is the episode that's going to be just non-stop whining and annoying noises the whole time. Alright, I'll skip. It's an alright episode, but it's just something I would never voluntarily go back to on a binge.
All right, the competition this week was created by the Shaolin monks. It is called Qigong, the ancient art of weightlifting with your penis.
Oh yeah, this one. Who can lift the most weight with their genitals? Now, this one is on that list of, this one is only as high as it is number 4 because of how so disappointing it gets right in the halfway point. The second it gets to the halfway point, it just nosedives into uninteresting in the slightest. Some people find the episode interesting, but I just found it just, no reason and just boring. The entire episode starts off amazingly funny with just Kenny just having a bunch of fake bricks and all these things to lift with his nuts to psych out Spenny and scare him. Those parts are the pinnacle of it. Those are like the golden goose of the episode. Everything of Kenny just freaking out, just yelling and holding up things with his nuts just to scare Spenny, and Spenny just collapsing, seeing that, and just breaking down and just giving up is hilarious. The whole opening half is great. This is actually an episode where if I ever watch this episode, I watch the first half, and the second Spenny has a fit and walks off, I stop watching there. Because then the rest of the episode is just Spenny, due to feeling not well today, had a breakdown. He decides to scream it out for the camera and make it the show's problem for some reason. And then the whole rest of the episode is Spenny running off and whining about wanting to quit while Kenny tries to get ready for the inevitable and have all of these possible replacements while Spenny is trying to get out. Just for it to end where, hey, no shit, you signed a contract. So even when I first saw this episode, I knew it wasn't going anywhere, because even I went, I'm well aware how shows work. You fucking signed for it. I know this is going nowhere. So yeah, that's what ends up happening. He does it. It ends up going nowhere. Spenny apologizes, comes back to the show, does humiliation, the end. It's an episode where the title alone and what they do in the beginning has such promise to being another classic, funny as hell, just ridiculous Kenny vs. Spenny episode. And then it just nosedives into Spenny just using the show to be his personal soapbox and to just vent all the things that he cares about, which aren't entertaining for the viewer, if we're being honest. And you'll see for the last 3 entries, there's going to be a common theme of that.
The competition this week is who is the better Jew. We're both Jews.
Is that Jews the right thing to say, or is it Jewish?
Jews, kikes, money grubbers, big noses.
Okay, so here's the reason why I don't like this episode. On the episode Who's a Better Jew, it's not like, horrible, like bad episode in that way. It's more due to the fact that it's just boring. It's a very boring episode. The entire episode is just Kenny just relaxing and chilling and doing nothing besides a few jokes here and there, due to the fact of, I should already win this. I literally am a Jew. I literally did all the stuff required to be it. I did the long haul of this. Which, he's right. That's another problem with this episode. Kenny should have won. If you look at it, logistically, and you look at it through a very, by default, definition of what the contest is, rule way, Kenny should have won it. But then, here's the reason why the episode's bad. Then the entire rest of the episode is just about Spenny. Spenny is one of those characters where he's the equivalent of what people would see as a snake oil salesman or a politician. He always is wearing a mask when he's in public when he's filming the show. He's always portraying the character of how he wants to be perceived, even though that's far from the truth. You've already seen in many interviews with Kenny and many behind-the-scenes looks and everything that Spenny is far from the holier Mother Teresa saint he reveals himself as in the show. It's always a mask, and this episode is just a whole episode just about that. Spenny proceeds to make it a big spiritual thing of him getting in touch with it, and oh my god, I need to learn, this is my path, and it's not entertaining. That's the bottom line of this episode. It's just not entertaining. It's very simple, it's too bland, and it's straight to the point. Just, if you want an episode of Spenny going on a soapbox about his beliefs, and then the rabbi picks him as winner just because it makes him look better, like why wouldn't he pick him? From a, spiritual point of view and a much more better look, it's the guy who's genuinely fighting and wanting to show the religion respect, and not the guy who's just so chill and relaxed about it. Every aspect of this is just not interesting. We watch Kenny vs. Spenny for the outrageous stuff, the crazy things, and Kenny doing his usual hijinks, and Spenny freaking out about it. And this episode is very light on that stuff, and that's the only reason why it's 3rd place. Not a horrible episode, but just not as fun and lively as the other ones.
Absolutely disastrous. It is the who is a more convincing woman competition.
Who can become a more convincing woman competition.
Do I really need to explain this one? This one should be obvious from the get-go why it's number 2. The entire episode is just Kenny and Spenny, very poorly, by the way, horribly acting like women. They don't do it well. It's literally the equivalent of just watching 2 guys, a very ugly, dressed like women. Like, they're not convincing in the slightest. If we're being serious about this competition, they both should have lost hands down. They both look hideous. They don't even look close to how a woman looks. It's just the equivalent of watching 2 guys in drag just really start like fighting each other, and just it's like watching 2 people uncomfortable wearing masks just acting silly till it's over. Spenny tries to, and that's another problem with this episode, they both don't at all act natural to how women would act. They both act like caricatures of how women would act. Kenny, the typical R-rated movie, the type of American Pie and stuff, rowdy girl that's all about let's go drink, let's party, sleeping around all the time. And Spenny is the very Little House on the Prairie Mormon woman, is the way he portrays it. Like, very skin tight, straight, need to do everything right. I love my family, that's what I'm here for. And they're both off point. In my opinion, should have ended with them both losing, but this is also like the Jew episode where Spenny only won because the girl judges chose to vote towards which one made them look better. They're not going to pick the gross, rowdy one who's portraying women as like drinking and sex and all that. Of course, they're going to pick the one that looks the more clean and more looking of them on the image they want to. And that is what they go for. It's not even a fair judging. They both should have lost, in my opinion. And it's just cringy is the best word for it. It's just a cringy episode of two guys that don't know what they're doing, clearly not invested in this, just very poorly trying to act like caricatures from movies and cartoons of what they think women act and not the real thing. And that's why it's number 2. But oh boy, we got number 1, don't we?
Competition this week is who do gay guys like more? Spenny and I are both going to go out with a gay guy, and he's going to pick who he likes the best.
Oh boy. I'm starting to see that number 2 and 1 have a lot in common. This episode, I had to pick as the worst one because I've never, ever in my life, Cameron Spenny, seen an episode, and this is saying a lot if you guys know the show, I've never, ever seen an episode in this show that feels uncomfortable to watch. That feels so uncomfortable and awkward. This episode feels so off. And you just feel uneasy. And I'm not the only one. Even with some friends and family that actually in the episode too, they also just find it really uncomfortable and just cringy. And that's because it's just like the woman one where these guys don't know what they're doing. Except Spenny goes worse. To clarify why, throughout watching this episode, what makes me feel uncomfortable is the gay guy they get for the episode on who do gay guys like more. I feel so sorry for him the whole episode. I do. I feel sorry for this guy. He comes into a show and then proceeds to just go through the most strange situation. When he goes with Spenny, for some reason, chooses to use this to go on a soapbox again and do a whole big, deep quest and talk with the guy. He basically uses this guy, not to win a competition, but he uses this guy just to try to experiment with him and try to figure out if he's gay or not, which is so hard to watch. He basically just acts awkward around the guy, uses the guy just to talk about his feelings and maybe there was one time where I was a bit interested, I've been curious, and then to make matters worse, he ends the episode, there's no other way to say this, by assaulting the guy. He then, when it's time to, goodbye, let's move on, he just throws himself on the guy and kisses him. For no reason. And you can tell this guy did not like this. His immediate thought when Spenny does this is immediate freeze, don't know what to think of it, and he wants to leave.
Time?
You're not upset,
It
are
makes
you?
me feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Oh, buddy. And then Kenny doesn't do any better. And then Kenny, for no reason, spends his time just being a parody. Which is funny because it actually works at first. The guy does, believe him, and he starts to eat it up. Him making fun of this fake narrative of, Spenny's my partner, and he despises me because he hates, what I am and stuff like that. The guy believes it at first. He buys it. And then Kenny just goes further. He just starts acting like every single gay cliche in film history. All of them. He does the type of dressing, he wears the typical clothes they would wear. He talks like this. He does the laugh and everything. Like, he pulls it all out. He immediately just starts whipping everything out at him. He immediately just goes straight to cliche, what I know from the movies. And then he starts to get cocky with it, just like with the girl episode. He starts to be cocky with it and very flamboyant and very like, oh my god, more like eating dick, am I right? And he goes like very almost to, and I mean to this guy's point of view, almost to an offensive line to him. And then he won't stop saying the entire episode. He keeps saying over and over and over and over and over, you're going to vote for me, right? I mean, like, if you don't, you're like being like a biatch, am I right? Like, oh, you're totally going to vote for me, right? You're totally going to vote for me.
Oh, don't be a bitch. Cheers to queers and muscle men's rears. Anyways, it was a disaster day, and I think we've pulled it out of the gutter. Was it a good recovery? Are you going to pick me?
I don't know yet.
What? This is the choice. Liar versus crier. You just decide who you're going to pick.
And then he ends up spamming that quote so much that the guy immediately clicks into his brain that this is bullshit what Kenny's doing. This is clearly an act. He's clearly not being genuine with me. He's clearly fucking with me. And then it gets so bad that the guy finally has enough of this weird parenting abuse from both guys that he just takes off. And I don't blame him. I mean, like, yeah, he should have taken off earlier when Spenny just used him as an experiment, threw himself on him. And he just ditches. With the camera guy trying to chase after him, trying to demand an answer, like, hey, we need to know who won this. And then he just refuses to. Which, once again, I don't blame him for. He literally just ends by saying, neither. I don't like either of them. Leave me alone. And you know what? After the experience he went through, it's a lot. And that's why it's the worst episode in my opinion. Once again, with all these episodes I said, I don't think either of these are bad. These are just on the list of, like, if you'd watch them again, how much watch value do these have compared to the others. And this episode, which is funny enough, this episode I've watched the most out of any of the other ones on this list, specifically because it's such a wild experiment. It's uncomfortable, it's wacky, it's silly, it's everything Henry Spenny is known for. Everything that you would expect from dealing with these two guys happens in the most phenomenal dumpster fire ever with this guy. And it is so perfect. But it's perfect as in, you know, like the movie The Room is or something. It's perfect for all those reasons. And that is why, to me, it is the worst episode ever. It is such a cluster of uncomfortableness that there's no other way to explain it. Whew, alright, that's done. So yeah, that is my top 7 worst episodes of Candy vs. Spenny ever. Let me know what you guys think. What would you pick in your list? Did you have the same opinions as these episodes as I did? Or do you have another way of looking at them? Or maybe do you actually love these episodes and you'd like to tell me in the comments why you love them so much? I would genuinely love to see. I love bouncing back and forth between you guys and sharing other opinions and, you know, having a whole conversation. It's really fun. I love seeing other points of views on things. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope Kenny doesn't see this and get upset or something. But if he does, buddy, I love the show. It is one of the most biggest classics of history. And this is just an opinion on the more weaker sauce compared to the stronger sauce. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time on Jetpack Retro. Now, if you'll excuse me, I am going to go because I got things to do for the next Jetpack Retro. Also, another documentary coming on the way next real soon. So, yep, see you guys.